and together we made it. So I'm so excited. Again, I want to thank everybody for my birthday wishes yesterday. You all helped to make it very special, and I enjoyed spending the time here with you on Epic Interviews. Epic Interviews is a live broadcast that we do every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. to help you and us stay connected during this time of social distancing, and also to share with you the conscious business owners and conscious practitioners that are available now through virtual events. And also, when this is over, these beautiful light workers are all here to help rise us up. So I am Samantha from Epic. I want to thank my co-publisher, Lisa, who is working the sidelines. Give her a shout out in the comments, say hello, tell us how you're doing today. And yeah, together we can. Together we can. So today I'm really excited to bring on Sharon Farber. I'll bring Sharon on in a minute. Sharon and I connected, oh, I don't know how many years ago now, but she's been a huge influence on my journey as a light worker. She has supported me. I've worked with Sharon very closely at Dragonfly Healing Arts in New Hartford. And she's the one that really gives me the kick in the butt when I need my kick in the butt. And that's why I love her so much. And I'm so excited to bring her on. So just give me a second while we bring on Sharon Farber, author, medium, and so much more. Here we go. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
That's good. We've been talking behind the scenes. So we've had a little conversation. It feels awkward sometimes when we come out and say hi. But anyway, I'm glad you're here with us, Sharon. And I'm very grateful that you've been part of my journey.
And I've
pivotal.
Loved having you in my journey too.
Thank you.
You're one of the people I give thanks for when I do my gratitude list at night. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I want everybody to know who you are and what you bring. And so if you did not know me, tell me, who are you? Who's Sharon Farber? What is your light? What do you bring?
Well, I've been a massage therapist and healer for 31 years. I'm an artist. I paint watercolors. I've been doing that for about 15 years. And the last 9 years of my life have been dedicated to developing mediumship, becoming a medium, fostering the ability to connect with those on the other side, to bring healing and peace and love, help connect this world and the other world in love. So I've been doing that for 9 years now. And the reason I'm different than most people is that I didn't grow up seeing spirit people. I didn't think everybody saw them. At some point, I decided, wow, that's fascinating. I want to do that. And I did what I needed to do to become a medium. And since then, after many classes, over 100 free readings, I developed a mediumship development circle because I couldn't find one. And that's been going, except for right now, when we can't meet at Dragonfly, for 7 years. And my niche is teaching other people to do mediumship. I specialize in beginners and telling people that if I can do it, you can do it, starting at the beginning. I'm going to babble on until you tell me to stop. I wrote a book called...
It's okay. Keep babbling, sister.
I wrote a book called Choosing to be a Medium, Experience and Share the Healing Wonder of Spirit Communication. Oh, look at that. Choosing to be a Medium. It was published by Llewellyn a year ago, March 19th. It's also available in an audiobook that was published by Blackstone Audio. So I wrote the book because hundreds of people asked me, or they told me, they said, I didn't think you could become a medium. And I thought you had to be born that way. And I got tired of hearing that question. And I did it. So I tell people that they can also. So I wrote the book. I teach classes. I was leading mediumship development retreats when we could go be together in person. And almost done. And now my focus has been doing everything online. I now have 5 weekly mediumship development circles
Yay.
for all levels and 90-minute circles. I'm teaching beginner classes online, and I'm doing private mentorship and, of course, giving readings online, mostly all through Zoom.
You
So that's where I'm at right now. And I don't really miss giving massages. 31 years of giving massages. I will do that again when I'm allowed to touch people. And there are people I miss, but for me, it was kind of the push to totally immerse myself in the mediumship.
Right. So, what a gift that's come out of this time, during the crisis. And I do want to just take a moment and pause because I did not just, I didn't in the beginning of this broadcast let everybody know that you are all in our hearts and our prayers during this time, and your family members, anybody who is not feeling well. Please know that we all are supporting them in prayer and just healing. So reach out if you need some support. Reach out to Lisa or I. We're here, and I'm sure Sharon would be here also, absolutely, as a light worker. So you said that you really don't miss massage. That was hard work. I can remember seeing you after doing a few massage therapy sessions with people, and it's very physically exhausting. Um, what if you could give, and then we're going to go on to the mediumship, but I want to know how did you take care of yourself? What is your self-care routine that you could share with everybody, whether it be after long strenuous massages or during this time of self-isolation and social distancing? How do you care for you?
It hasn't changed. Um, it just got more imperative to do it. I do these Donna Eden energy medicine exercises. You can look her up, Donna Eden Energy.
Yep.
And you know those, Samantha, because we did
Yep.
them in circle before we worked. So there's this 5-minute energy routine. You start with some grounding. There's a thymus thump. There's these beautiful exercises that help you balance the right and left side of your brain, ground, protect your energy field. So I've been doing those for probably, I don't know, 10
Love
years,
it.
ever since I read her book and took a class with her. So I do that. And then there's this balancing act between boundaries and taking care of myself at the same time being open to the world. When this hit, I went into terror. I was literally shaking when I talked about it. And I didn't know how I would ever connect with the spirit world because I felt like I was so busy trying to shut myself off from all the trauma and terror because I was busy watching videos of Italy and all that. But I talked to a couple of my mentors, and it's a balancing act where tapping into the fear and the trauma and the terror isn't going to help anybody or myself. It's kind of the put the oxygen mask on yourself. So I've come to a balance where I don't focus on it. I try not to go there, but I don't want to not go there because I'll feel like I won't be empathetic or compassionate and be there for people. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm doing it, but I'm better now because if I can keep myself basically calm, peaceful, and stable, and at the moment in my home, all is well. So if I can do that, I can be kind of an anchor rock light for other people. So I'm doing that as much as I can. So that balance between being aware, compassionate, and empathetic, but not going into the fear and panic.
Right, right. And I heard, I'm not sure who said this, but my kind of go-to thought on that or mantra is, I stay in touch with the media and the news just enough to be informed, but not enough to put me into that state of terror or panic and anxiety, because we do need to be informed, but we don't want to
Yes.
be immersed in it 24/7. So like shut off the news, change the channel, whatever it is that we need to do. um, we have the tools available. So thank you for sharing yours. I remember, Sharon, when we were over at Dragonfly and this first started to come to light that, okay, maybe there is something out there. And to be honest, and I shared this with you at first, I'm like, she's really kind of, you know, taking this a little too much, I'm like, oh, I don't know about all this, Sharon. But in hindsight, you are ahead of the curve. And you really did prepare, and your family has been, pretty much all together since the beginning of this. So I praise you for that, for that awareness and that connection with truly what is going on out there. So thank you. And thank
You're
you for
welcome.
um, sharing your journey. We're going to continually post Sharon's contact information in the feed. Thank you, Lisa, our website. Can you tell us a little bit about the journey of writing this book? I can remember sitting in a circle with you when we first met. And if I'm not mistaken, I received a message from the angelic realm through myself that had indicated you were going to be writing. And I can't remember who it was that came through. I know it was Archangel Gabriel.
Okay.
Gabrielle. Um, I remember that clearly. And now you have a published book by Llewellyn. How did that all progress for you? What is that process? What was it
That
like?
was a very long process. Really long process. It was, I guess, 2014, 20. It was 5 years. I was compelled to write a book. I was guided. It was not my idea. I'm not someone who wants to write, like to write, or ever thought about writing. I was trying to sleep in the mornings, and 3 mornings in a row, I just got this, got to write a book. And I'm like, what? I just felt compelled and coerced to write a book by my guidance. And I'm not someone who goes around saying I'm guided to do this, I'm guided to do that, but in the case of the book I was. And I said okay. So I got up, started making an outline. A couple days later I was taking a mediumship class, and another medium was reading for me, connected. And I didn't tell anybody because this was really kind of ridiculous. I'm not a writer. I'd only been doing mediumship for 4 years or so. I wasn't an expert. And why would I do that? So I didn't tell anybody. Then I'm at a class, and my grandmother comes through, my mom's mom, and tells me, and tells through the other woman, she says, she's showing that you're writing. And she says that she's supporting that. And my mouth dropped open, literally, because I hadn't told anybody. So grandma came through from the other side to encourage my writing. That night I went home and told my parents and my husband and my kids. It's like, okay, I'm writing a book. And I had incredible spiritual and just tons of help the whole way. I wrote the book. I tried to get a publisher. That didn't work so well. I queried agents for a year. And on the 30th query, after 1 year, I got an agent. She got me a book deal with a publisher and an audiobook thing. So I had a lot of help. It was kind of a magical journey.
Yeah. And a long journey that you stuck with, and
You and probably 50 other people suggested I self-publish. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
yeah, and you did, and you
Everybody's like,
stuck with
no,
it.
I'm just determined. And it just all came together. The the agent works for the Seymour Agency, Seymour, and I'd already looked at them, and they did Christian books, and it was totally inappropriate. And I'm just going through my agencies over a year. And then, because my father in spirit's name is Seymour, spelled the same way, I felt compelled to go revisit the Seymour Agency. It's like, even though I had a markdown and I knew that, and I went back and they had a new agent named Tina who had just joined them a couple months earlier, and she specialized in spiritual mind, body, spirit, and
Wow.
that kind of thing. I'm like, ooh. So I was her fourth book contract and her first audiobook contract. So I had a lot of magical help.
Right. A lot of support from the other side. And
Yeah, I
that is
think
that
so.
is truly the gift that you're bringing right now. And thank you for that. So with the book, you have a workbook from what I understand. I've read the book. It is beautiful. If you're
Want me to show you
interested,
the workbook? So I
hmm,
can just grab one.
you could go grab one while I Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
it's really
Sharon has a
oh,
workbook
here we go.
that is a companion for the book. So if you've ever wanted to, find out about mediumship and you don't think you have the gift of mediumship, contact her. Read this book. It's an easy read. It's so informative. There's exercises step by step that you can choose to be a medium and develop those skills as Sharon has and myself. There's their audio. So yay. We're going to post
Oh,
all this link there.
whoops, I got
Um,
and
and
here's the
there it is.
book.
Yeah.
The
It's
workbook, so you
beautiful.
can prompts and things and track your progress.
Okay. Can that be purchased on, what's the easiest way for our viewers to contact you or to purchase
If
the
you
book?
like supporting Amazon and you
Okay,
have your Prime and you just want to get it and have it mailed immediately, you can do that. If you want to buy it from me, I'll sign it and send it out. When I heard that Amazon might not stock a lot of things other than essentials, I ordered an extra 50 books from Llewellyn. So I have 70 or 80 here just in case things slow down and no one can get them. So you can get them from me from my website. Use
okay,
PayPal, I'll ship them out. But if you find Amazon or if bookstores are still selling books, you can get them pretty much anywhere.
good, good. So a little bit about the circles that you offer. You're doing them virtually now, I understand. Okay. So if someone wanted to, can you describe real briefly what a circle is and the purpose of it and how we can grow through that tool that you offer?
Okay. Well, before I get just briefly before the circle, I do have a 5-hour beginner class. In case you don't think you're ready for a circle, I'm teaching one Tuesday from 11 to 4 because I had people ask me for a weekday one. And then the next weekend one is Saturday, April 25th. 5-hour mediumship circle, limited to 10 people. $69 interactive where I lecture, talk about how to become a mediumship, what to do, and then in the last couple hours of the circle, people have a chance to do it with my support. So people who aren't ready for a circle can do that. And there's also one-on-one mentoring. The circles are pretty much like you used to come to at Dragonfly. The circle is a 90-minute, it's a hybrid circle class. So I'm not giving lecture and talking about mediumship. We'll have anywhere from 4 to 8 people, students. Everybody can see each other like here. And I will start the group with some grounding, centering, build the energy of the group, ask for help, set the intention, and then everybody gets to give a reading. And it's all about mediumship. So it's all about connecting with loved ones in spirit. We're not doing psychic work, angel, tarot cards. It's all about connecting to people in spirit. So some people have been doing that with me since August. This didn't start because of the pandemic. I've had 2 circles this Tuesday night and Thursday afternoon have been going since August.
Wow.
And what I did was add a Wednesday evening and a Saturday and Sunday afternoon classes because of all the demand now. So we get together, and then people give a reading to someone, to the whole group. You just connect with somebody, just like in Circle, and someone says, "Oh, I know who that is." And you get beautiful messages. And the good thing is it's for people of all levels. Some people go because they want the practice, the support, and the community. And some people are brand new, and I'll work with them individually, not in the lecture, this is how it's done, but okay, let me give you your own little guided meditation to connect with the spirit person. And they get a few pieces and someone says, I know who that is. And they can have their aha moment. I've seen people have their first connections right there in the circle.
Yeah, beautiful. I've attended them in person when we were having them at Dragonfly, and I recommend them for anybody who wants to learn about mediumship and also about the gifts that they have, because truly it is a muscle. I believe the universe, according to Samantha, it is a muscle, and it's something that we can build and expand on and use. And it is so healing and affirming when we do receive messages from loved ones in spirit. It helps us through the grieving process. It helps us to affirm our connection with all that is, and that there really is no separateness. in this lifetime, and also as we transition on to the spirit world. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the gifts that you bring to us, and the advice, how you are managing and navigating through this time of change and transition with the COVID-19. I do appreciate that. I do always go in and ask my guides and teachers for just an impromptu question to kind of wrap up the interview with. Before I do that, I do want to say that you are one of the most beautiful artists that I've ever experienced.
Thank
Sharon
you.
does the most beautiful art. It's water. Is it water? It's watercolor, right? Yep. It's beautiful. So I'm sure that you can contact her about that also. She has some greeting cards and photo pictures for the wall. I wanted to acknowledge that because when I first saw them, I said, "There's no way someone drew those," and you did. And you're absolutely amazing with all your talents.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for being here. And let's just tap in. And what is it through your journey as a mediumship? Who is, can you tell us who was the most famous connection that you had? Have you connected with maybe an actor, an actress in spirit? Have you experienced anything like that? Someone outside of your circle? Who would that connection have been with that really um, shows the expansion of the ability? Do you know what I'm saying?
I know. Well, it's kind of like the fun aspect.
Yeah,
What the people like to hear about.
yeah.
We had four famous people show up in circle. So it wasn't me individually. I've never had uh, Cleopatra or Elvis Presley come through. It's not how it works. People generally come through because it's their significant loved ones. But in circle, we've had four lovely experiences. Years and years ago, like 6, 7 years ago, Ernest Hemingway came through
Oh yeah,
in circle. You weren't there. That was before your time.
I remember hearing about it.
It's in the book. Did you ever
Okay,
read the book? I won't ask you that.
no, I read the book.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Ernest Hemingway came through. I connected with Ernest Hemingway. I saw him in a pith helmet and safari-like clothes, and someone else saw him on his boat, and we did it together. And it's kind of a long story, but I saw a rhinoceros. So first of all, I think I'm connecting with this man. I have no idea. Mary, who's a teacher, said when no one else recognized the man, she said, "Sounds like Ernest Hemingway." I'm like, "Oh," and she said, "This is why." And we continued, and then somebody else connected with him even more strongly, and she says that also. And I described a rhinoceros with Ernest Hemingway, with this man. And so we laughed. It's like, okay, maybe it's Ernest Hemingway. Well, I go home on the internet, and it turns out that there's all these pictures of Ernest Hemingway with a rhinoceros. And he wrote about rhinoceroses. And so that's called a clincher. So, and one of the women in the class had recently been to his house, which is like a museum. There's a historic Ernest Hemingway house, and he used to have 6 or 7 toed cats, and they still have some of those there. So it all came together. So there was Ernest Hemingway, and we don't know why he came through, except maybe he knew about me writing a book
Yeah.
a number of years before I did. We also had Leonard Nimoy
Okay.
came through about within a week of his passing. We had a guest sitter, Jay. Whoops. Well, anyway, we had a guest sitter, and someone was got this older Jewish man, and yada yada yada. All this information had nothing to do with Star Trek. And if you don't know, Leonard Nimoy was Dr. Spock in Star Trek. So he was our most famous person. So one of the sitters, like, yes, I can understand this man. That makes sense. That makes sense. So it was Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek, but coming through to a man who lived in a tenement house with him. They were on one floor, he was on another in the Boston area 50 years ago. So it wasn't because he's a famous actor, it's
Right.
because he came through with a message for the family. And also, I think I told you that Mr. Bill came through. Bill W.
Oh,
the
yes.
founder of Alcoholics Anonymous. I saw this man. He wouldn't show me his face. He had a sense of humor and all this information, but he was being kind of anonymous.
Yeah.
And I'm describing him, but not knowing who he was. And there was a woman in the circle who, okay, I know who he is. And she was able to, because she's in program, and she was able to recognize him also.
Right.
So those are our famous people. Also, Herman Melville, more recently.
Yeah.
Well, somewhat more recently. But those were our famous people. But it's not about connecting with famous people. It's
Right.
about connecting people on this side and the other side out of love and support and providing healing. It's all about love and connection.
And that's why I asked that, because it wasn't about the rich and famous. It was about how closely everybody is connected, and it truly is about bringing that connection through, allowing it to come through, and to give what you get, because there, when you do get that connection, it is a message for someone, and whether it seems far out, Dr. Spock or whatever, it there was that connection, and that
It
is
was
what.
all about his family. They knew him personally. There was a
Yeah,
healing to be done between Leonard Nimoy and someone in the
yeah,
person's family, and it was really nice.
awesome. Well, again, my friend, I appreciate your time here. I appreciate you sharing your light. Again, if you want to purchase Sharon's book, Choosing to be a Medium, or the workbook that corresponds with it, reach out to her directly, Amazon.com. Everything's going to be in the feed. And thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll see everybody next week at 11 a.m. And until we're together again, I always close with a peace out, Epic Scouts. Thank you,
Thank you,
Sharon. Thank you,
Samantha.
everybody.
Love you. Thank
Happy
you.
Easter. Bye. Bye, Sharon.
Bye bye.